I'm Z Kendricks, and this is the crucial impact of temperature and humidity on colony relocation decisions in Apis mellifera. What is Apis mellifera? It's commonly called the Western honeybee. It was originally native to Europe, Africa, and parts of Asia. It was introduced worldwide due to its role in agriculture and pollination. The colony usually consists of a queen, workers, and drones, and the workers forage larvae and defend the hive while the queens reproduce. They commonly use the waggle dance to communicate food location and hive location. And it's essential for their day-to-day efficiency, for foraging and doing everything. Honeybees are a key pollinator all around the world for crops and wild plants, and they greatly help in food production. Superorganisms. They are a collective of individuals functioning as a single entity. This is where we get the saying hive mind, and Apis mellifera is considered a superorganism. What's swarming? It is how a bee colony makes a new colony. The old queen and about half of the worker bees leave and find a new home. Why does this happen? Because usually the hive gets too crowded, the queen gets too old, or new queens are being raised and emerging. Bees communicate through things like the waggle dance and also the queen giving off pheromones that help guide the whole swarm. How do environmental factors like temperature and humidity affect the decision-making process and colony relocation among Apis mellifera? There are a few environmental triggers for swarming, and it is highly dependent on external conditions. Most swarms occur when temperatures are between 20 and 25 degrees Celsius and humidity is moderate, around 50 to 65%. Cold, rainy, or extremely hot weather definitely suppresses swarm emergence. Bees often delay swarming until conditions are just right. They don't want to engage in any high risk activity. Impact of temperature and humidity on swarming behavior. Apis mellifera can tolerate heat up to 40 degrees Celsius, but behavior and coordination decline as temperatures rise. High humidity supports successful wax production, and it is critical for establishing a new hive. Dry or unstable air impacts communication during swarm movement and nest construction. Environmental stress affects foraging, communication, and decision making, slowing down the whole swarm process. In this table, presented is the mean survival times in hours of Apis mellifera, which are exposed to a combination of three temperatures, 35, 40, and 45 degrees Celsius, and also three relative humidities, 50, 60, and 70%. This data reveals that the survival time decreases as temperature increases, regardless of the humidity. These findings indicate that higher temperatures significantly reduce bee survival, while increased humidity offers some mitigation. It does not fully counteract the adverse effects of the heat. Reduced survival under high temperatures and high humidity conditions suggest that Apis mellifera colonies may initiate swarming or relocate to more favorable environments to ensure the colony's survival. This second table details the mean body water loss in milligrams per hour of Apis mellifera under the same temperature and humidity combinations as Table 1. These results highlight that the elevated temperatures significantly increase dehydration risk. Increased water loss under high temperatures and high temperature conditions can stress bee colonies, prompting behaviors like swarming or relocations to area with more optimal conditions. Finally, this figure illustrates the mortality rates of Apis mellifera when exposed to temperature gradient from 51 degrees Celsius to 63. The low heat tolerance demonstrated in this figure suggests that Apis mellifera colonies are more vulnerable to extreme temperature events. To avoid these lethal conditions, colonies usually swarm and find safer, more favorable hive environments. Nest site selection under environmental pressures. Swarms scout for cavities that offer thermal stability and adequate humidity. However, this is not crucial because Apis mellifera can use thermoregulation to control the hive's internal temperature just about anywhere they want to. Bees are more likely, though, to choose shaded or protected locations that buffer from these extreme temperatures. Environmental factors affect how highly scouts rate potential nest sites. And distance, temperature, and humidity all come into effect when influencing a final decision for hive site location. Significance. Understanding how temperature and humidity affect Apis mellifera swarming is essential for effective beekeeping and conservation. It is extremely relevant nowadays with climate change because it is causing more extreme and unpredictable weather, and this makes swarming patterns shift, and it could potentially threaten pollination cycles and the whole ecosystem balance. Insights from swarm behavior research can help predict colony movements and guide interventions during unstable seasons if need be. And here are some open-ended questions. How might rising global temperatures change the timing or frequency of honeybee swarming? And could shifts in swarm behavior lead to long-term changes in crop pollination or biodiversity as a whole? Conclusion. External factors like temperature and humidity play a critical role in every stage of Apis mellifera swarming and colony relocation, from triggering swarm departure to influencing travel conditions and the final nest site choice. Bees rely on stable, moderate environmental conditions to ensure their success. When these factors are unfavorable, swarms are delayed, disrupted, or fail entirely. Understanding these environmental influences helps us better predict bee behavior and protect the essential pollination services that these honeybees provide. And here are a list of my references.